morning. Thank you for joining us today from WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna, Seca. It is perfect, and we have hit the midpoint of the INDY NXT season. It's INDY NXT by Firestone in the Grand Prix of Monterey, and we'll do it 2 times coming up this weekend. And it has warmed up today after chilly conditions the last couple of days. Near 80 degrees, but still gorgeous conditions. Track is hot. Second year after a repave. It is fast, and it is challenging. Thank you for joining us today. Kevin Lee, Charlie Kimball, ready to go for the first pair of races. And so many storylines since we left you at Road America 2 weeks ago. First and foremost, a first-time winner, the first female winner since 2010. Jamie Chadwick broke through and now looks to continue the momentum this weekend. But Charlie, another story is one of the championship contenders not in the car. He wasn't in the car at Road America. It was TBD on what was going to happen. Nolan Siegel has moved up to IndyCar. There's Jamie Chadwick.
She did a great job at Road America, Kevin, holding off all the pressure, all that wind. But like you said, so much has happened since Road America. Nolan Siegel, one of the presumptive championship contenders, signs a multi-year deal with Arrow McLaren IndyCar and is now going to drive the number 6 Arrow McLaren Chevrolet for the rest of this season, abandoning his INDY NXT program.
So that means there were really 3 or 4 championship contenders. Now we're down to 2 or 3. That takes one of the championship contenders, someone who won the opener, finished second in the next 2, and was certainly going to be in the mix. So Siegel moves up to IndyCar. He's driving this weekend for Arrow McLaren. It's essentially mission accomplished. That's what this level is for, to prepare you for IndyCar, and he I think had multiple offers to finish out the season, so he chooses one of the top teams. And now Christian Brooks steps into his place, and great opportunity for him this weekend as well. He is running in the USF Pro 2000 Championship, where he is 4th in points. Now for more, let's head to pit lane and DJ Clark.
Well, good afternoon, Kevin. Good afternoon, Charlie. It's a beautiful day here in California, and it's a beautiful day if your name is Louis Foster. Pole position in race number 1, pole position in race number 2. This has got to set you up wonderfully for a track that it's a little notoriously difficult to pass on.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the aim's to get a good start, manage the tires. Big thing here is tire management. Fronts tend to die, front right especially. So yeah, we're just looking to get a good gap at the start and then be able to manage our tires. But Kai's going to be pushing hard. Jacob's obviously going to be one coming forward. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I think it's going to be a good race. But yeah, obviously the less that happens from my perspective, the better.
Well, in terms of Jacob Abel, you mentioned him. It's your chief rival in terms of the championship. How much are you going to be paying attention to where Jacob is and what he's doing over the course of a race? Or are you just going to have to block that out and take this race by race for the championship as a whole?
Yeah, I mean, we're the fastest car at the moment, so we just got to go win. It's not really about letting Colette get past and beating Jacob. We're on the we're in the right place to win the race, and we're going to try to do that. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Obviously not make any stupid mistakes, no big risks are needed, but yeah, finish the race and hopefully get a win.
All right, well, thanks, Louis. He rolls off P1 today and tomorrow.
Thank you. Cheers.
Qualifying so critical at this place, and when you think about the championship, opportunities to score bonus points, which he did, and Foster is only 18 back of Jacob Abel. I would say do not count out Kyle Collette, though.
He has been on a charge, Kyle Collette, with great form, trying to make it a 3-way conversation. But really, at the moment, it is Jacob Abel. Started the season really strong. Louis Foster on pole for both races. Head-to-head, it's kind of a mixed bag. I'm not sure you could say either one of them have a benefit here at WeatherTech Raceway.
Yeah, Jacob Abel does have experience here in a GT3 sports car. He made his WeatherTech debut here a few years ago. So it's all to play for coming up this weekend as we hit the midpoint of INDY NXT by Firestone. Drivers are strapped in. It's time to get started.
Time to go trackside to get race number 1 underway here at Laguna Seca.
Race fans, it's time to fire the engines for this afternoon's INDY NXT by Firestone Grand Prix at Laguna Seca. Here's today's Grand Marshal, friend of Bridgestone, Gretel Young, to give the command.
Drivers, start your engines!
20 cars are entered this weekend. Unfortunately, Michael D'Orlando is not here, still working on budget. Jordan Missick actually is here running a Radical. We might see him again later. Nolan Siegel, we mentioned, and back in Christian Brooks and Ricardo Escoto. Here's how they start off. Louis Foster with his second pole of the season in the Copart Novara Technologies car, and Kyle Collette ties his best qualifying effort, second for the third time.
And on row 2, Reese Gold in that Ticket Clinic yellow and black HMD Motorsports. Jacob Abel, your championship leader outside of row 2.
Christian Bogle with his best career start lines up fifth in the Pelican Energy car, and Euban Sundermorthy also with his best career start, starting sixth.
Inside of row 4, James Rowe had a podium at Barber, still trying to regain that podium form. Miles Rowe started the season with the podium in St. Pete and still trying to climb his way into that rookie championship conversation.
In row 5, starting ninth in the Jaguar Land Rover Chesterfield car, Bryce Aaron and Jack William Miller in the Patterson Dental and Haven Go car will start next to him in 10th.
Josh Pearson on the inside of row 6, that second-year driver. And Jamie Chadwick coming off that historic win at Road America. She's carrying our onboard camera, so we'll get some great views of the field in front and the racing behind from her car today.
Stepping in for Nolan Siegel the rest of the season in a number 39 HMD car, Deploy Surveillance is the primary partner. Christian Brooks, really impressive to be able to qualify 13th. He had never driven an X car before. And Callum Hedge, the impressive Kiwi in the HRC cars, 14th.
Some drivers that had some issues in qualifying. Salvador D'Alba Jr. having an incident, knocking off the front wing of that car inside of row 8. Nolan Allard, the outside of row 8 in that 11 car.
Jonathan Brown in the Hover Energy car will start 17th. And Niels Colin will start 18th next to him on the outside.
Now, Lindsey Brewer inside of row 10 in that Jonkos Hollinger racing car. Outside of row 10, Ricardo Escoto qualified a little further up, but continuing to serve a penalty from race control from the Detroit race.
All right, let's find out what it's going to take to get it done today. Time for Kimball's Keys.
You know, this part of the calendar, we are in a stretch of great American road courses coming off the long, flowing Road America. Here, a doubleheader at the classic, historic, incredible driver's track that is Laguna Seca. These points maximization, if anyone wants to be a part of that championship contention, that conversation heading into the second half, you've got to maximize here. It's bonus points, it's a doubleheader. You come out, go to another great American road course at Mid-Ohio after this weekend, but there's 2 chances to stand on the top step and pick up maximum points this weekend.
So in a couple of weeks after a weekend off, we'll see more action at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. And then we're going to start oval racing, and we're mostly going to finish oval racing, Charlie.
And for me, that's a really important conversation. You have seen Louis Foster, who has been on a tear on these road and street circuits, struggle a little bit on some of those short ovals. But a couple road courses still to go, but those 4 ovals could determine this conversation. Jacob Abel did really well last year on the ovals. We'll see if that form continues to finish out this season.
And this is all new. Oval racing will be for Kyle Collette. I expect him to be strong here this weekend and at Mid-Ohio. He told me this morning he's starting to get a little more comfortable. They're all still brand new tracks, but at least he understands how the weekend goes. He understands the car and his competition. All right, championship is tight. And the top 2, separated by 18 points, are in the front 2 rows. It's Louis Foster, the chaser right now, 18 points back. He is on pole. There's Collette in that black and green car on the outside of the front row. Jacob Abel, black and red car in the second row, and that yellow and black Ticket Clinic car in row 2. Watching for the green flag. They can't go after until they get around turn 11. Foster is in charge of the field. It's the first of 2 this weekend from WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca. Time to go. Indy NXT by Firestone is green, and Foster gets the early jump through the little kink, which is turn 1. Turn 2 is a hairpin, the Andretti hairpin, and Collette trying to go the long way around the outside, but Foster is going to prevail.
Kyle Collette knew he had to send it for a shot at the lead, not able to get it done. Got some dust flying in the background, but so far clean.
Reese Gold to win off a little bit. He's going to lose 2, maybe 3 positions.
Jacob Abel took advantage of that, slotting into 3rd in line. That's where he needs to be to protect his championship lead.
And look at Juven Sundermorthy, the other Able Motorsports car, right there in fourth. Sundermorthy in fourth position. The start is under review, so we'll take a look at that when things settle in.
Trying to go side by side through that turn 6. It's a fast corner, leads you uphill here to the corkscrew. One of the most iconic corners in all of motor racing.
That green and black car there is Christian Brooks. This is his next debut. Had never driven the car before yesterday. No testing. He's been running a USF Pro 2000 car, so he steps in a car this weekend. More power, more physical, and Charlie does it the most physical track on the circuit.
It is absolutely hard on those shoulders, those arms, those hands, and that neck. This is the first time he's driven that car with full tank of fuel, and it will be the heaviest. He feels it all weekend long.
Christian Brooks is 23 years old. He is from California, Santa Clarita. Here's Reese Gold trying to recover after losing a few spots in the early going. They're still bunched up all in the back there. Side by side, Gold trying to get back by Christian Bogle in that Pelican Energy white and blue car. And that is a battle right now for, should be fifth position. Let's go back and see. Tell me if you can tell what they're looking at. The front row seemed pretty even when they started.
I'm not sure if it was something before the green flag came out. You have to stay in line. The only thing, Jack William Miller dropping a wheel there in the dirt, but I'm not sure he got shoved off.
All is good. No action will be taken. There's the look will tell us if anything was out of sorts. I didn't notice anybody significantly get out of line. And the front row was lined up pretty well. And Foster did his job. Collette gave it a look, but he is tough to go the long way around there. Then he had a fight on his hands for second. Hung on to that, so no change first and second. It's after that that it gets shaken up a little bit with Abel, Sundermorthy, and Bogle all moving forward. Then it's Gold. Rowe has moved up a bit. Aaron, James Rowe, and Jack William Miller in the top 10 as we ride with Jamie Chadwick, the most recent winner. Was really quick in the first practice yesterday, did not qualify as well as she wanted. She's running 12th. Let's listen to communications with the Andretti Global driver.
Okay, put the car in front into the drive corner.
Copy, blocking, that's Christian Brooks.
So with Christian Brooks there, anytime someone moves over to defend or block as a driver, you always call it into your team because it's easy to send an alert up to race control and have them look at it, give you a yay or nay, and say if it was a block or a defense. And that's very different. If you move in reaction, that's blocking. But if you beat the car to the bottom and get there first, steal that preferred passing line, that is defending. And defending's legal, blocking is not.
So if you are in question with the car that has the in-car, and the only in-car that's live, that's one you don't want to have any kind of call against because they're going to get a look at this.
Oh, that's pretty... I'm not sure that's on. Christian Brooks moved just a little bit late there. But I think Christian Brooks is a success story no matter how the weekend goes because it shows that these open-wheel drivers are getting the training to move up to Indy Next. And then from Indy Next into IndyCar. I think Nolan Siegel is a great example of what Indy Next can do. It trains these drivers, gets them ready mentally, physically. They understand the business, how a race weekend works. I think Nolan Siegel was maybe, I don't know, a quarter to half a season ahead of what the plan could have been because of his results last year. And it meant that winning Le Mans for a team that Zach Brown co-owns definitely helped move him into that McLaren seat.
Going to get a chance to take over one of the top 4 teams in a team with a pedigree like McLaren. That's tough to turn down. That's why they did not turn it down. Nolan Siegel has moved on. So it's Foster, Collette, and then the Able Motorsports cars running 3rd and 4th with Jacob Abel and Juven Sundermorthy. DJ, tell us more.
Well, Kevin, I wanted to check in on that because Jacob Abel is in that championship points conversation, and I wanted to see if there were any team orders at all. I have been assured by Able Motorsports there is absolutely no conversation. If Juven's got the speed, he's able to overtake, but they stressed that Juven's going to be smart about it, and he's not going to take out his championship-leading teammate.
Juven is a college graduate from the University of Wisconsin, his home race, first of 2, really, this year there at Road America last weekend. So I'm sure the team has a lot of confidence that Juven understands the stakes. And when I was talking to John Bruner, the team manager there at Able Motorsports earlier in the weekend, he was really impressed with Juven's ability to get up to speed this weekend. And with Jacob, they were trying to figure out a way to break Louis Foster's control of the weekend. He'd been fast in both sessions. They said, maybe we'll misstep a little bit on tires. We'll try and do the opposite of what that 26 Andretti Global car does, because I'm not sure we can beat him on outright speed.
Juven's coming off a really good weekend, as you mentioned, at his first home race, his best finish of the season, 9th at Road America, and had his best start here today. But everybody's chasing Andretti Global. Louis Foster has built up more than a 3-second advantage so far on HMD's Kyle Collette. And here's a look at what Andretti Global has been able to do over the years. They came in with quite a bit of confidence. They have produced quick cars here, whether it was before the repave or after. Last year, Hunter McElroy and Christian Rasmussen just simply traded the wins back and forth. Rasmussen was an Andretti driver 2 years ago, and last year won the championship with HMD. Here's the 22-year-old from Sao Paulo. Kyle Collette comes in 3rd in the championship. He's been consistently quick. He's qualified in the top 4 rows in every race this season. Still looking for that breakthrough win in 2nd, and here's one of the front runners. Reese Gold is off, and we are yellow.
That's at the exit of turn 5, the left-hander coming up the hill out of that infield section.
Just same thing as Skip, and just left him a bunch of room and just sent me.
So he says he didn't go off on his own. He had help. Who is the he?
That is, he was racing the 7 car, Christian Bogle. They are HMD teammates, so.
And then there was an HMD teammate behind him as well in Miles Rowe. I believe he was still running in 6th. He'd been battling Bogle for a little while. And here is our look. And it was, well, we're seeing the tail end of it, but Christian Bogle is the car that is near him. And that's into the tires.
It's not insignificant impact on that tire barrier.
But he hit it square. Maybe there's a chance that maybe it doesn't even need a wing change. If they can get him refired here, they've got another 15 seconds or so. They do. He's on the lead lap.
Well done to the AMR safety team to get him all the way out of the gravel, up against the wall, back on track. That front wing is broken, so we'll have to catch up. The question now is, how much of a gap can he give the safety car in the field?
He should really, if he feels like he can, is bypass the pits and try to catch up. And here is
Sundermorthy.
Sundermorthy went off at nearly the same time. How soon was it around the yellow? Right at the time, so he didn't even lose a spot.
Didn't lose
no
a
harm,
spot.
no foul.
That's a free mistake, a free off. You don't get those very often racing.
Well, there was a big gap between him already, between Sundermorthy and Bogle from 4th and 5th. So now it's a reset. Everyone is, well, most everyone is pretty happy about this. Louis Foster, not so much. His 3+ second gap goes away. And Kyle Collette will get a look at him. And maybe Jacob Abel gets a look at Collette for some points. DJ.
Reese Gold down here with a wing change. That's all they did on the front nose of the car, and it looked like it was pretty torn up at the moment. They're going to take a look at it right now, but he is going to be back out and just beat the safety car out. He will be able to stay on the lead lap by all means.
That is impressive. I wasn't sure if he had a big enough gap to change the wing.
Push.
And stay on the lead lap, and he does.
Well done to that HMD crew, the AMR safety team. You can see it flapping. It leaves a mark on that right front tire. We'll see if it's done any damage over the course of this race, but they're going to go green next time. So they're telling him to push to catch up to the back of the field. The pace car running pace car speed, 40 to 50, 60 miles an hour, and he can go as hard as he can to get around.
And that's why they did not want to circulate for another lap to try to catch up to the back of the field, because
it was going to go green.
It was going to go green, and then you're pitting under green instead of under yellow. So he's not going to catch up to the field before they go green, but he's going to be closer. He's on the lead lap. He's going to be within a half a lap or so, and then he's hoping for another caution at some point. to catch back up to the tail.
And they say cautions breed caution, so he's got a chance with that.
He'll be close, though. The field is only...
The tail end's going into turn 5 there.
Yeah.
He's coming down through turn 9 and 10.
He'll be close. He will be close to the back end of the field. So a reset for Reese Gold, who was still in play to some extent, tied for 5th in the championship. So now it's Foster, Collette, Abel, Sundermorthy, Christian Bogle in 5th, Miles Rowe in 6th. After his first disappointing result of the season, he was caught up in contact at Road America. Bryce Aaron with a good start to this race in 7th. James Rowe, Jack William Miller, and Christian Brooks on debut, running in 10th. Coming towards turn 11. And Foster can release as soon as they get through this corner. Working lap 8 of 35. First of a doubleheader this weekend. And a big jump for Louis Foster, who is up by 3, 4, 5 car lengths already. And Jacob Abel is going to have a look for second on Kyle Collette.
Kyle Collette got sideways getting on the gas. And Miles Rowe putting the move on Christian Bogle a little further back up to 5th.
Miles Rowe started in 8th position. He's moved 3 spots forward so far. In the number 99 Force Indy HMD car. Running in 5th. Miles' best result this season, a 4th place finish in Detroit when he started way back in 19th. And look at the gap that Foster has created already. Miles Rowe, last year's USF Pro 2000 championship in his rookie season in Indy Next. Right in front of him in the blue and black Abel Motorsports car, Yuvan Sundermorthy has flirted with these kind of results a couple of different times. Trying to finish it off now, running in 4th position right now, and he is staying with his teammate Jacob Abel. Great restart for Yuvan Sundermorthy.
I think he's going to come under pressure from Miles Rowe, but a great job here. Yuvan Sundermorthy recovering from that error, getting off in turn 6, running clean on that restart.
Single file through 11, further back.
See the progress as a rookie. His results continue to just methodically get better and better, closer to the front. He's having a great weekend here.
Christian Bogle is staying with Miles Rowe after Rowe got by him. Bogle has been quick this weekend. This is strong stuff from him. Looks like there's some debris that's been spotted. Yeah, there you go. See it flying in the air coming through the corkscrew.
That's the front half of Niels Colin's nose box there as he gets into look like Nolan Aller, and it is still there on the track. So these drivers, as they come through the corkscrew, it's totally blind. There's such an elevation change there as a driver when you turn into the corkscrew. As you can see it maybe just off the racing line, but as they turn left and drop down that hill, you aim for a tree on the horizon because you can't see the racetrack in front of you, Kevin.
Jacob Abel has created a little bit of space with his teammate Sundermorthy, who also has created space in front of Miles Rowe. Let's learn more about HMD with DJ.
I've been able to catch up here with AJ Smith with HMD. And AJ, we're talking about that incident with Reese Gold and with Christian Bogle. What happened from your eyes?
Well, it looks like Reese just kind of blew her in there trying to make a pass. And rather than take out a competitor, I think he opted to jump off there. I think he just got in the corner too hot. That's what it looked like to me.
Well, it was an amazing job for you and the rest of the HMD crew to be able to get that wing change and get it back on the lead lap. But I want to focus on Kyle Collette right now, doing a great job trying to hunt down Louis Foster. What's the plan of attack there? You holding anything back, or is it full go and trying to keep that gap as minimal as possible?
Well, definitely keep the gap as minimal as possible and take care of the Firestone, so at the end of this race, we've got something to challenge him with. Unfortunately, our teammate brought out the yellow, but that bunched up the field. That helped us out a little bit. So we'll just see what Kyle's got for him here at the end of this race. We've got a ways to go yet.
All right, well, we'll be keeping an eye on Kyle at the end of this race then. AJ, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, part of that will be who manages the Firestones the best, so there is still a long way to go in this one. Not yet a third of the way through. They did go back and take a look at what led to Reese Gold going off, and there's no action involved in that. Sounds like the team boss kind of agrees in that circumstance. Let's check in on some radio communication for Nolan Aller.
4 back, watch your mirrors there.
Fourth gear isn't working. I can use the clutch to get fourth gear.
So less than ideal for the
All I
driver
have to do is get fourth gear every time.
off the Fago car. So can you work around that and salvage anything, Charlie?
Not really.
Yeah, I didn't think
fourth
so.
gear is hard, and so I wonder if losing fourth gear was because of that contact with Niels Colin up in the corkscrew. These gearboxes are right at the back of the car, and with contact like he had, lifted the car up in the air, it might have broken something in the gearbox, either internally or externally, doesn't allow him to get to fourth gear.
Niels Colin has dropped back significantly. He is slow, and
because he came in to change that front wings a lap down and is misstepping Christian Brooks and Jamie Chadwick here.
This is on board with Chadwick, looking up ahead to Brooks in the green and black car. That's Colin in front of them, not on the lead lap. So Christian Brooks, Jamie Chadwick together right there. And Chadwick was trying to pick up that position but could not. Had a good run on Brooks. That's pretty well done for both of them to get through there.
I closed my eyes because I figured there'd be a yellow coming out, but that was a great job of those drivers, giving each other enough room. Jamie Chadwick thinking about the Zanardi there through the gravel, but able to gather it back up and come through.
Okay, so we saw that piece of carbon fiber flying through the air in the corkscrew. Contact between Aller and Colin back there. That's under review. Ricardo Escoto is right back there behind that, but I don't think he made contact with anybody. I think it's just the 11 and 33 that they're looking at. But that would be something to check on. Just make sure that the green and black car didn't push the car in front of him, but push the car in front of him.
It is a chain reaction type of incident there, but Niels Colin had to come in. He's a lap down now. He had to come in and change that front wing and nose. And like I said, I wonder if Nolan Aller losing fourth gear happened because of that incident. When anytime you see rear wheels up off the ground, it's a bad day.
Josh Pearson got a lot of experience in a lot of different cars, but not here in a Formula car. Lower levels have not raced here in a few years, so it's just Indy NXT. And he didn't do the entire season last year because he was also spending a lot of time in sports cars, so it's a new experience for Josh. And a really good qualifying performance at Road America. Started third, ended up finishing 7th, his best result 2 weeks ago. And right now, Pearson is running in 12th position, so solid effort for him so far. Is still a very, very young driver. He's just 18 years old. Jamie Chadwick just outside the top 10 right now. So it has been, I'm sure, a very busy couple of weeks, coming off a very significant moment for Jamie and honestly for the sport as well. DJ Clark had a chance to sit down with Jamie this weekend on the heels of her first Indy NXT win.
Yeah, I certainly did, Kevin, and it was a great interview with her, but she really had a lot to say about it and a lot to say about how she felt about the other part of the season minus the win.
I mean, yeah, of course, super happy. Yeah, I would have taken your arm for a result like that at this point in the season, and especially somewhere like Road America. So, yeah, super happy, still sort of, on a high from it, but obviously full focus into this weekend. And I think the first half of the season, I'm actually pretty frustrated in a way that we haven't been able to sort of get more sort of strong results. I don't think the win's been on the cards in the recent results, but I think we've been fighting always in that top 5, and I think our championship is set back because of that. So, yeah, sort of mixed feelings on the first half, but I think positive going into the rest of the year.
Well, the pace has been there all season for Jamie. In fact, this is her worst qualifying performance. First time outside the top 10. She qualified 10th, 5th, 6th, 6th, 4th, and 1st this season.
Well, and she's really impressed me with her ability to find the pace. Everyone says, oh, as Christian Brooks runs wide the Andretti hairpin, Jamie not able to take advantage. But everyone said she spent so much time in the gym over the winter. We talked about it on the Road America broadcast, that those cold, quiet, dark mornings in the middle of winter, it pays off in the summer when you're strong enough, these back-to-back weekends like this. And she's able to hold on and still go out and get the job done. And you know, the thing that really helps all that frustration of results and mechanical failures and incidents, spraying champagne on the top step of the podium. That always makes you feel better.
Michael Andretti has enjoyed what he has seen from her this season as well. And that conversation can really start about whether she's ready to move up to IndyCar. I think that's still TBD. We're only not even halfway through the season. Today is the halfway point, so there's still more evaluations to come. They'll have to debate whether she should do another season in next, or if they can create a program for her somewhere in IndyCar. She's got a nice run on Christian Brooks right here, so we'll keep an eye on that while we check in with DJ.
Well, I've got bad news for fans of the number 11 car driven by Nolan Allard. Charlie and Kevin, you reported that gearbox issue earlier on. That car is officially retiring from the race.
And that contact between Allard and Colin has been reviewed, and no action will be taken on that, so we'll move on past that. But unfortunately, Allard is not going to be able to continue with the gearbox issue that we heard about. Here is Chadwick. A run this time, looking to the inside on Brooks. Oh, this is such great experience for Christian Brooks. Fighting against a race winner now, a three-time champion in the W Series, driving this car this weekend for the very first time.
And one of the things as we ride on board is I want you to watch her hands and see how busy she is, because even with the new repaving here at Laguna Seca, it is a busy driving track. As you come down this hill through the rainy curve, this heavy left-hander, this next right-hander, you get into a bowl and the car loads up, and she's still having to make those corrections over the bumps. As she comes out of this hairpin, it's going to be all about getting the power down and trying to get a run. Christian Brooks is doing a really good job, but he's largely an unknown quantity as a driver. So if I'm in Jamie's seat here, I'm thinking, I want to make a pass. I know I'm faster than that 39 car, but I don't exactly know the driver I'm racing. I have spent the rest of the season learning the culture and personality of the other drivers. Christian Brooks is largely an unknown to me as a driver.
Unknown to Jamie, not unknown to the IndyCar paddock, and certainly the quote road to Indy paddock. He's fourth in the USF Pro 2000 Championship for Pabst Racing, and he's going to continue that championship, so he'll be doing double duty, including in Mid-Ohio and Portland, so that's going to be really busy. Extra track time for him. He won last year for Turn 3 in USF Pro 2000. He had won and contended for championships in USF 2000. He also, I first came across Christian Brooks after a great karting career. He was running for Dreyer and Reinbold in Red Bull Global Rallycross in GRC lights when he was, say, 17 years old or so. So he took a little bit of a different path. He's got a lot of experience in high-level championships, and he is showing that, yeah, he was ready to take the step up to Indy NXT. Deploy Surveillance is one of those that has helped support him and giving him an opportunity to run for 2 championships here this year, and obviously a partial season in Indy NXT. And he's holding off someone that we now know is legit in Jamie Chadwick. So well done for Christian Brooks. Now, meanwhile, let's check in on Louis Foster. The gap was 3.5 seconds or so before that caution came out. He has built that back and then some. 4.3 seconds on Kyle Collette. Let's listen to the 26 radio.
Compass 2.4, you have 150. Collette has 139. Compass 2.8, his pace is a 14.8. So you're still pulling away. No need to be hard on tires. Let's save them.
That was a couple of laps or so ago, and Collette still has the second fastest lap of the race, and it's 4/10 off of what Foster has been able to do. So clearly, he is quick enough at this point. Reese Gold has the third quickest lap, and that has been since he pitted for the fresh wing. Jacob Abel has the 4th quickest lap, and Eugen Sunforthy the 5th quickest. So we see the leader, and where's everybody else? Wait. There we go. And then it's another gap of similar distance back to Jacob Abel. One thing, Charlie, about these weekends is, yes, you want to salvage the best result you can get, but you're also thinking about, all right, what can I learn for tomorrow? There is another chance at this very track. And I wonder if maybe that benefits Kyle Collette even more, that many of these other drivers have been here before. He has not.
So the fact that you have a doubleheader definitely means going into tomorrow, he'll have the confidence. He'll know, okay, turn 1's my best shot, but sending it around the outside's not going to work.
And we have an off for Bryce Aaron, who is having a good day today.
Get out of there, man.
Still got it running. Can he get out of the sand? Facing the wrong direction, so we'll have to tread carefully here.
2 more cars coming, then you'll be clear. 1 more car coming. Stop.
This is headed up the hill, up the Ray Hall straight.
It's probably a spin at the exit of turn 6. Yep, goes off in the dirt, spins, almost gathers it up, spins all the way across. You can see the tire tracks on the new paving. That's only about 2 years, year and a half worth of spin marks there, and there's still plenty of tire tracks from the exit of turn 6 coming across up the hill towards the corkscrew.
So we stay green, but Bryce Aaron loses all of that track position. Started inside the top 10, now falls back to 18th, last on the lead lap.
Let's just get back on it here and learn as much as we can for tomorrow about the deck.
There you go. Exactly my thought. Yeah, there's still something to be learned and taken from this race that will, let's face it, you can always learn at this level, but you can specifically learn something in a race like this.
And going away and thinking about it, sleeping on it tonight, qualifying this morning, the fastest lap sets the grid for race 1, second fastest for race 2 tomorrow. You can think about doing 35 laps hard around on race pace with full fuel, older tires. You'll come back and you'll have a much better understanding. Kyle Collette will benefit from that tremendously. Now for Kyle Collette, one of the big unknowns, at least later in the schedule, is how he's going to handle the short ovals. Like we talked about at the opening of the show, there is a heavier weight to the ovals later in the calendar, but he will be able to work now and tomorrow and at Mid-Ohio and at Portland, and then see where the ovals go. And points as they run at the moment, there is literally nothing between the first 2 drivers. They are tied at the top now.
Yeah, we are in for a fantastic championship in the second half of the season. And DJ is one of those that is very much interested in that championship right now.
I am. Don Lambert and I just looking at that points graphic right now and grinning a little bit. But Don, Louis looks like he is absolutely in control of this race. Is he managing the gap here at this point? Does he have anything else in the tank?
I would imagine there's a little left in the tank. Yeah, it's just managing. We haven't used any push to pass. Car's really good. Tires, just saving tires right now and just making sure that, he has a good 14, what do we have, 13 laps left. So.
Well, in terms of that push to pass, how much easier does that make that on you behind the wall when you've got a driver that doesn't have to go to that overtaking aid and is just able to do it?
It's nice when he doesn't have to use it and he can stay out front, So, but if we have another yellow or anything, you might use it then. So we'll just have to see.
All right. Well,
he's doing good right now. He's keeping everybody behind him. So
keeping everybody behind him is the goal. Don Lambert, thank you so much.
Yeah, Louis Foster looks good. He looks good here today, and he continues to grow that gap. He has the fastest lap of the race by nearly a half a second. He's picking him up and putting him down right now.
And Don Lambert talked about not having to use push to pass here in Indy NXT. It gives you about 50 horsepower as far as a boost. There's 150 seconds total to use. You can use 15 at a stint. I mean, as a driver, I think tape that button down or just turn a switch on, but it's limited, and he's able to manage this gap without using that. He's over 5 seconds ahead of Kyle Collette behind and hasn't touched the push to pass button. So he's doing a really good job. He's been in control and command of this weekend since the first lap of practice yesterday.
Really solid weekend going so far for Jack William Miller, the 20-year-old from Carmel, Indiana. In the Patterson Dental Haven Go by Sam Carr. His best finish so far this season came very early at Barber. He's shown some pace at times, but had a good qualifying effort. Started 10th. Has moved up a couple of spots, running 8th right now. So we saw a little dirt kicked up in front of Miller. So we'll check in, and it looks like Miles Rowe lost a little bit of the gap that he had on Christian Bogle, and Bogle is chasing him down. Bogle's having a great day here today. Let's see what happened to Miles Rowe. There's Sunworthy running in 4th. Rowe back there in 5th, just goes a little bit wide and kept his foot in it and kept the position.
That is a wild ride, but able to hold off Christian Bogle. Both of these drivers having great runs today. Really strong showing so far for the 99 and the 7, both HMD Motorsports cars.
Christian Bogle has finished as high as 4th at Portland last year. Also 6th and 7th place results last season, but this year's best finish is in 9th. Let's face it, the competition keeps getting better. Christian is improving. And this is a driver, yes, he's been in this level for a little while, but he did a little bit of F4 racing as Jack William Miller has run wide, and he's lost all those positions, falling back to 12th. Back to finish up on Bogle. He's only got about 5 years of racing. He didn't run a lot of go-karts. He simply started in F4, and he's 6'4". So the feeling was, let's move him up to a higher level because he was giving up a lot of time.
In the last turn and went into limp mode.
Because he weighed over 200 pounds. And
now just stay out.
All right, what are they talking about there?
Talking about going into a limp mode.
Oh, that was on Jack Miller's car.
Jack Miller's car maybe having an electrical issue, some gremlin that's creating the car, puts the car into limp mode, which is essentially a get home safe situation. And we get a replay here. He defends to the inside, Brooks to the outside, can't hold it. Some really tight racing with Brooks and Chadwick as well.
And only lost 2 spots. It looks like he's fallen back to 10th. And that's really tight there between Chadwick and Brooks, who've been hooked up for quite some time.
Brooks, a really well-known Californian go-karter. Santa Clarita just right next door to the Herta hometown of Valencia, California. Just about 4.5, 5 hours south of here.
So that is 8th, 9th. A little further back, blue car Miller in 10th, and then Josh Pearson and Salvador de Alba Jr. not too far behind them as well. Let's move closer back up to the front now. One of the championship contenders. We've heard from Jamie Chadwick already. Let's find out more about Jacob Abel with DJ.
Well, Kevin, I had the chance to talk with Jacob as well yesterday, and we chatted a little bit about his championship and the sort of revolving door of rivals that he has coming on this year.
Yeah, it's business as usual. You know, we can only control what we can control, and that's kind of been my focus all year long. I've known him and Louis were going to be very strong all season long. You know, I've always been looking at Louis especially as someone who was going to be super strong. You know, he had a little bit of bad luck there early on, but he's finally turned it on, and I think, you know, we definitely need to get back on the top step and start winning races again, or else, you know, he's going to capitalize on that.
And the him he referred to was Nolan Siegel, who is no longer involved in this championship, moving up to IndyCar. So one less combatant for Jacob Abel, but still far from easy because Louis Foster, Kyle Collette, and maybe somebody else will get in the mix, but certainly those two are in play.
And a lot of times when you have a couple of wins earlier in the year, consistency is key. Being able to run on the podium, finish second, finish third, finish fourth is enough to get the championship done. But here, Louis Foster has gotten and picked up so much momentum that it's going to take Jacob Abel getting back to the top set. He talked about getting back on the top of the podium. You get those wins, and he's always been close, but being able to get those wins and that big point gain is really what it's going to take to stay in front of Louis Foster for the rest of the year.
This battle continues to rage for 8th between Christian Brooks and Jamie Chadwick. HMD versus Andretti Global. Brooks on his debut. Chadwick coming off her first win at this level.
As a driver, there's some extra confidence when you're coming off a win the weekend before. You come in, and I think she knows that with 8 laps to go, the opportunities are going to present itself. She's just biding her time. She's continuing to push Christian. And we don't have that push-to-pass data with us, but I know that they're both balancing it, trying to figure out when to use it. So we see a replay of Christian Bogle in that 7 car, locking up, sliding wide, and James Rowe taking advantage, going past, making his car awfully wide at the exit of turn 2.
So now Rowe and Rowe, different spellings, running back-to-back. Miles Rowe in 5th, James Rowe in 6th. There's Bogle in 7th. Then there's a 10-second gap back to that battle we've seen between Brooks and Chadwick. Miller, Pearson, and DeAlba, Hedge, Brown, all running pretty close nose to tail from 8th through 14th right now. Even Sundermore, he's having a really strong day. We've talked about Jacob Abel. He is a championship contender. He is the most experienced driver at this level, and his young teammate in his first full season has hung with him all day. Maybe not a coincidence, but I believe this is the first track that Juven has raced at before in Indy NXT. He did a few weekends last year, and one of them was here at WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca.
Having that experience as a rookie makes all the difference. You just show up from the first lap of practice and know what it's going to look like, what it's going to feel like, how you want the car to behave under your hands and your feet. And that means that when you get on track, you start further ahead and you stay further ahead.
He's going to have some more of those opportunities later in the season from the limited weekends that he did last year. In fact, Juven's best result last year was here at Laguna Seca. He finished 9th here. On board with Chadwick, chasing Brooks. We keep an eye on that on the top screen. And then the battle for a podium spot. And this is delicate because not only it's a teammate, the name of the driver in front is the name of the team. So you know that. And as you said before, Juven's a really smart young man.
Out of 4, 5, and 6 the rest of the race.
Juven's a college graduate. Jacob has been working on his college degree at Butler while being a full-time racing driver. So these are 2 very smart young men that work well together, and they have enough trust, as DJ reported earlier. There are no team orders because they have enough confidence that Juven will make the move if it's there. If it's not, he will be quite content to ride along behind Jacob.
And you talked about them enjoying working together as teammates, as drivers, and I think one of the things is Juven can learn from following Jacob. He's obviously a little quicker, but there are some things he will be able to learn from following that 51 Abel construction car in front of him. He'll be able to pick up just little subtle things that will make him and continue to make him more competitive, not just today, but tomorrow and the rest of the Indy NXT schedule.
There's the signal, 5 laps to go. So we're into really 4.5 to go for the leader, Louis Foster, who is already into turn 5 and has checked out, and he has started lapping cars that really haven't had a problem. You know, it's one thing that you lap someone that's had an off or had to make a run through pit lane, but that's how good Louis Foster has been in this race that has not run green the entire way. It's been bunched up once, and he is still checked out again by now nearly 8 seconds on Kyle Collette.
Just total domination here for that 26 car. And Andretti Global's got to be really happy with how much he has grown this year.
Remember, we are far from done. IndyCar qualifying is coming up. That is going to be fascinating. It is so tight in IndyCar, so many questions. The track seems to be so challenging to get it right this year, and then you have to find an open gap in qualifying. So that's coming up here on Peacock at 5:15 Eastern, so that's an hour from now. And then tomorrow we've got the IndyCar warm-up, noon local, 3 o'clock Eastern. The second Indy NXT race of the weekend, full points race that'll get us into the second half of the season, and then also on Peacock and this weekend on USA Network. If you prefer traditional television, we'll be on right after the NASCAR Cup race. Full day of activity tomorrow on USA, starting with the IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship. The first half of the 6 hours from Watkins Glen is on USA. The entire race is on Peacock. The Cup race has been moved up a little bit because of a threat of weather. We're hoping to get that into New Hampshire tomorrow, and then we will wrap up the day here tomorrow from Laguna Seca. And this one won't be wrapped up until the checkered flag. Jamie Chadwick looking for another spot on Christian Brooks.
Still running almost in Christian Brooks' wheel tracks, trying to offset a little bit, get a little better exit, figure out a way past this young driver making his Indy NXT debut.
I asked Christian how it was physically, and this is a far more challenging car than the USF Pro 2000 car, which also doesn't have power steering. It is not easy to drive, but this is next level, and this is a track that is next level as well. So I'm sure that's what Jamie is thinking at this point. She's worked hard on her fitness and strength in year 2. Maybe Christian Brooks gets a little bit worn out by the end of this first Indy NXT race.
Christian Brooks has his hands full holding onto that deploy surveillance number 39. Plus, he's got his hands full looking in the mirror with Jamie Chadwick, a race winner, right behind him. This has been fun to watch all race long, these two drivers.
Did a great job, man. That's the 3 laps.
That's Nathan Toney, his engineer. He's been the engineer for Siegel. He is one of the great young engineering minds in the sport. He's had success in sports cars. He is one of the top engineers from HMD, and that was one of the things I wondered. Might they move him around? He was with, one of their championship contenders coming in. And talked to Nathan Thursday. He said, nope, I'm on the 39 car, and that's one of the attractions that Christian Brooks, who've been talking to other teams as well, why they landed with HMD. Now look at this battle a little further back. Josh Pearson in the green car, De Alba in the red car, Callum Hedge next in that dark colored car, then Jonathan Brown. That is 11th through 14th. Inside 2 laps to go.
And Reese Gold, trying to recover from that spin earlier, is driving up to the back of this group. Thinks he might want to join the party as well. I want to point out that Jamie Chadwick won last weekend. She's been doing great all year long. She's on the front straight. The leader is out of turn 6, headed up to the corkscrew. Louis Foster has put his stamp on this race and this weekend so far.
He's lapped 4 cars, 2 that I don't believe have had any problems. Well, not 1, because I hadn't seen that yet. So there is Jonathan Brown having a little tumble through the corkscrew, but still kept it going in the right direction. Lost time, but didn't stall the car or anything. So meanwhile, Louis Foster has just taken the white flag. He's in the Andretti hairpin right now. He drives for Michael Andretti. He's got just under 2 miles left to wrap up a beatdown. Meanwhile, podium change. Yuvan Sunmorthy might get his first. He is got by Jacob Abel. How did it happen?
Up into the corkscrew. That is a bold move. Yuvan Sunmorthy gets the position, gets alongside. A little bit of wheel banging. That is a great pass, heavy on the brakes, and a bold move to step into 3rd place at the moment.
The 21-year-old from Wisconsin, the Indian American driver, has a chance to be on the podium today if he can finish off this lap. Meanwhile, Louis Foster is looking to finish off a beatdown. 9+ seconds is the advantage. He's going to be on the pole for race 2 again coming up tomorrow, and he is in line with bonus points for laps lead to take over the championship lead. Louis Foster sees the checkered flag. The first of the doubleheader at Laguna Seca is dominated by Louis Foster. Midway through the season, he now leads the championship.
He coasted across the line because he had so much margin.
Yeah, the final number.
Thank you, boys. Car was really good.
Is going to be
I like
8.
those kind of races there front. No, really good job, guys. Thank you. Car was on rails. Zero deck, pretty much zero deck.
No.
Abel got back in front. There's damage. That wheel is off for Yuvan Sunworthy, who is trying to coast home to get his best result of his career.
Man, you did a great job, all right? Very proud of you.
So what happened to Yuvan Sunworthy, who did take the checkers? He did get to the line in 4th, and it was with a lapped car. It was with Lindsey Brewer.
Oh, that is a heartbreak for Yuvan Sunworthy.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. You still have the right to continue to race, but
you have to be aware of what's going on around here.
Yep. And especially with someone racing for a podium spot. Maybe a little help on the radio could have helped there.
Oh, you can see the heartbreak from Yuvan.
The only positive is that at least it didn't throw away the whole result. It was late enough that he pushed a damaged car across the line, still gets his best finish in 4th. Abel scores very significant points in the championship to come home in 3rd. Also got a damaged race car you got to pay for, which doesn't feel real good either.
See the heartbreak.
Yeah.
Oh.
Wow. Well, the story is so much cleaner, so much better as you see the heartbreak for Yuvan with a podium at Laguna Seca coming up that close. Michael Andretti there in victory lane for the second week in a row, second event in a row. 2 weeks ago at Road America. We've seen Nolan Siegel move up. I'm going to guess a lot of people have their eyes on Louis Foster. He has tested an Indy car before and presumably will again this year.
Those of you looking to go on a fun vacation and see the world on the cheap. Today, the
So a lot to unpack and one more to do tomorrow. We'll see if there's any lingering feelings or fallout from this one.
Well, I think the feeling everyone's going to come away with, except Louis Foster, is how are we going to catch up to Louis? He was so dominant. And from the highest of highs to the lowest of lows there, Louis Foster dominant, Yuvan Sunworthy contact right at the end.
All right, let's talk about the good stuff right now. DJ is in victory lane.
Louis Foster getting a final heads up there and a final congratulations from the team. And the helmet is off as Louis gets ready to pop out of the car. Here he comes. Another victory for the young British driver. Gives a big clap and a big heads up. Climbs on out of the car. Louis Foster, and absolutely, there it is, another fist bump to the team. Another fantastic drive for you. How did you put it together and keep it that much of a gap even after the restart?
Team gave me a good car. You know, we were able to drive away. I was happy afterwards. I was able to just keep pushing. You know, we had very little deck. You know, I was managing tires, but they didn't need much management, to be honest with you. So, yeah, super happy. Let's go do it tomorrow.
Well, and I got to ask you one more time, because we heard over the radio you used hardly any, if any at all, push to pass. How much of a statement does that make for the rest of this field?
Yeah, I mean, we got a really good car, you know, so, yeah, let me use 2 seconds to try and get past one of the back markers, but didn't really need to, you know, so, no, I'm super happy with it. Car was amazing, like I said. Must thank you to Andretti, Copart, you know, it's great to win here with such a rich history, so, yeah, we'll do it again in race 2.
All right, we'll look for race 2 tomorrow. Louis Foster.
Thank you. Impressive is putting it mildly today. because Kyle Collette looked pretty good this weekend. Jacob Abel, we know what he is, and Euven Sunmorthy had the drive of his life today. He's won before in USF 2000. Well, this is pretty much the big league, so well done.
Really great result there, and great result for James Rowe as well. Miles Rowe, those positions flip-flopped late in the race. Christian Brooks on his debut, holding off Jamie Chadwick, our previous most recent race winner coming off Road America. Jack William Miller rounding out the top 10.
You know, we probably didn't spend as much time. There was a lot going on, but James Rowe, this was an important weekend for him. He's had good results this year, a third and a fourth, but contact at Detroit, finished a lap down with some things that didn't go his way at Road America as well. So a big bounce back for him and some others that get another chance coming up tomorrow afternoon. So how does the championship look now because of that position? So it went from +3 for Louis Foster to now it is a tie in the championship halfway through the season. Back down to DJ.
Well, thank you, Kevin. I'm here with the rest of the podium, and we're going to start things off with Kyle Collette. Kyle, a very great and well-measured drive for you. It just looked like you didn't quite have the speed to close down on Louis.
Yeah, I felt pretty quick even this morning and also during the race itself, but it's just I think Louis is, I don't know, he's on his own word today. Hopefully we can improve a bit for tomorrow, myself and a little bit with the team. I think we have some work to do to catch him up. But yeah, big congrats to him, to be honest. There was nothing that I think any of us could do today, and we'll keep pushing for tomorrow and see if we can attack him.
Well, we'll be looking forward to that tomorrow, Kyle. And then Jacob Abel, over to you. A little bit of a surprise podium there, a move down into the corkscrew. Talk me through what was a little bit of a crazy last lap.
Yeah, I mean, Euven made a good move on me. It was very aggressive, a little bit more aggressive than I probably thought he was going to be to me, but you know, it was a clean move nonetheless. And yeah, you know, they were just faster than us today. I think he started on new tires, so he had a little bit of an advantage there, and we just fell off a bunch. So yeah, you know, I feel a little bit bad for him. He just made a mistake on the last corner there, but yeah, we'll take it anyway and move forward to tomorrow.
All right, he'll move forward, and he'll be tied on the championship points coming into race 2 tomorrow.
Hey, interesting perspective. He had a good look at it, so, you know, maybe unfair to put any blame on Lindsey Brewer. I only got one look at it at that point, so maybe it's more on you got to be able to navigate the lap traffic. So we'll dive into that and have a little more intel on that before we come back tomorrow. That's a good thing, Charlie. We get to do it again.
Do it all over again tomorrow. Great race today. We'll see if anyone can catch Louis Foster, though.
What a day today, and it's all Louis Foster. We'll see you tomorrow, and stay tuned for IndyCar qualifying coming up.
800-932-1548. That's 800.